My name is Samoy, and this is my incredible husband, Ryan Valentine. And we're gonna talk about how we met each other. We're gonna take you guys back 3 years ago and give you the story of how we are have arrived at this point today. We are newlyweds. We were married last year, October, and we didn't just arrive and just married. We actually had to take that journey of getting to know each other, and this is how it all goes down.
So how is it that someone who was born in England, myself, born and raised in England in Nottingham, met someone that's 4,500 miles away and ended up getting married? So what happened? My sister and brother-in-law, they relocated to Jamaica about a year or so prior to actually meeting Samoy. And after a good long while, I wanted to actually go and visit them and see my little nephews and, have some fun with them. So I went to go visit them. I went to Jamaica for 2 weeks. In the first week, I actually stayed with them. The second week, I went to a retreat that was organized by a team that Samoy was a part of. And I went to that retreat in the second week of being in Jamaica. So I went to Jamaica on the 30th of January 2018, spent that week down in St. Elizabeth where my family was, and then after that week I travelled through Santa Cruz, up to Sav, and then up to Negril and into Lucy. So I went that direction, right? But I took a bus from St. Elizabeth to Santa Cruz and then to Sav, and I got picked up by one of the organizers that was running the retreat. So that was all cool, and I got to the retreat eventually, not too tired, but ready to meet some new friends. So I got there, met a really good guy that I know even to this day and was the best man of our wedding. I won't mention any names just for privacy, but he knows who he is. So met him and said all the greetings and the like and so on and so forth. And then I asked about a couple of other people that should have been there, but they weren't there. So before that retreat, I'd actually done a lot of research because whenever I do anything, I need to know everything about everything. So I did some research in regards to who was going to be there and who I was going to meet. And one of the people that I found out was going to be there was Samoy. So I'm not going to be able to live this down even to this day. My best man just keeps on mentioning to me how, like, when I got to this retreat, one of the first people that I remembered, from my research and asked for was Samoy. So, obviously, when he passed on that information to my wife, at the time, she was gassed. She was excited, to say, oh, this guy from the UK, come see her, feel good. Okay, so I got to the retreat and I'd asked for Samoy and she wasn't there for whatever reason. Like, what were you doing?
I was actually at work, and I remember before Ryan arrived in Jamaica, I heard about his coming to Jamaica, and actually, I did a little bit of research. I wasn't sure exactly if, because I did research and was wondering who was coming, because I heard, okay, there's a guy coming to the retreat, and I was like, okay, let me try to guess which guy probably will come. But I didn't know until the day that I saw him, and I remember I was coming home from work really super excited because we girls were singing and having fun while we were coming home from work. And I remember approaching the house and saw this young man. He was neatly attired and he had a great demeanor. He had a smile on his face, and he came up to shake each one of us hands, and I remember introducing myself to him.
It gets to the middle of February and I'm ready to go home, and they send me off with these nice cards and nice words and everything. And I get back to the UK, and I'm not the type of person that likes to keep in touch with people, if I'm very honest. I'm not really a good texter or communicator when it comes to text. I just don't keep in touch with people over text. Give me a call and we'll talk for 3 hours. Like, that's no problem. But over text, no, thank you. But Samoy decided that actually she would text me. So when I got back to the UK, I was greeted with this lovely text, and from that point onwards, we pretty much stayed in touch. Now, staying in touch, what that looked like was Bible studies. I had suggested that actually maybe it might be a good idea. She was still at the retreat. That we would do a few little Bible studies here and there. And those Bible studies were pretty formal at first, but they became gradually more informal. And as time went on, the conversation shifted from, how is this played out in Matthew 25, or, and what is the relationship between this and that and this and that. It became more, okay, how's your day? Like, how's mommy doing? How's your dad? How's your family? And it became very relaxed and quite easygoing, right? So it moved on from Bible studies to that. But one thing that I wasn't appreciating, I didn't understand how Samoy operated, and this is one that I really do recommend like everyone get an appreciation of if they can. So there's one book that I have to recommend at this point. So The 5 Love Languages. Please get that book if you're thinking about getting married or in a relationship. If you're married already, get that book, please. So The 5 Love Languages, it deals with this concept called the love bank and love languages. Essentially, the author, Gary Chapman, he gives this idea that every time we do something that is in line with another person's love languages, it deposits love tokens, or deposits love into their love bank. Now, these 5 love languages, when you look into them, what they are is, and I'll name them. So you've got number 1, and they're not in the right order. I'm going to give them just off the top of my head. So number 1, for the purpose of this video, physical touch. This is probably the order that they are for me, to be honest, in importance. So physical touch, that could be, touching and, so on and so forth. It's all, of course, intimacy, in terms of sexual intimacy, and also just general intimacy, if you will. The other ones would be words of affirmation. So words of affirmation, they include, words that encourage and build and uplift, another person, and, affirms, what they do, essentially, for want of a better word. So you have that. Number 3, gifts. So everyone knows that gifts are lovely to receive, and we all like gifts. Number 4, you have acts of service. Now, acts of service could be
washing the dishes.
Yeah, washing the dishes. Hoovering the carpet, for your wife, or something out of the blue, that wasn't expected, but it's a nice gesture that you can do physically with your energy that you have, whatever you want to do. And the last one, quality time. So quality time would involve, going out for a trip, having an experience, going for a bike ride, walk in the park. That's an example of, quality time. So those are the 5 love languages, and I didn't realize any of this before I was speaking to someone. So I was clueless, naive as a little child, and I didn't realize the conversations that I was having with someone were affecting her in the way that they were, because we were spending that quality time with each other almost, every week, every day, and it just built and built and built. The end of 2018, and Samoy is now looking to come to the UK, but there's obviously a challenge that we have, and that being a visa. So we of course needed to apply for a visitor's visa, and I don't know if anyone has actually done that that's watching this video, but it can be quite challenging, and it was for us. So we applied for this visa and it was rejected. We didn't get it, and it ended up that we didn't actually get to see each other that for the rest of that year, essentially. Samoy was going to come over in order to experience what the UK was like. But not only that, it would have given us a great opportunity to actually see whether we wanted to take the relationship forward. So because that was rejected, what did I do? I decided to travel back to Jamaica and go and see her again. So as soon as I could, which was March the next year, I went over to Jamaica, and in my mind, I had so many questions that I needed answers to. So I went there, probably wrongly, with, my little notepad and pen pretty much. And I was studying someone, like I was studying her. From head to toe, like I needed to know everything about this girl. So I had asked, her friends, who she is, what she is, and, why she is, pretty much. Like, I needed to know everything about her. So, more seriously, though, like, things like how did she actually operate in conflicts, and, why did she actually do certain things in certain scenarios, so that I could get an understanding of, if I was actually to marry this girl, what would that look like? How would that play out in marriage? So, by the time I got to Jamaica, I already had some information, but I still questioned like some of her friends when I was out there. But what I did also do when we had occasions to actually go on dates and so on and so forth is ask questions. I asked some more questions in regards to like how what sort of intimacy does she like from a guy, and vice versa. And not in terms of sexual intimacy, but also, but more so, intimacy in terms of conversation and how we relate to each other, and what sort of things that we would do together, and so on and so forth.
So we decided after that hey, we really want to get to know each other more. So we went into a courtship, and during that courtship, we get to delve deeper into knowing about each other, and we're gonna feel that actually at the end of the day we really want to get married. So during the courtship period, Ryan visited Jamaica a couple of times, and we also kept in touch. For me, it felt like I was physically here because I know the ins and outs. So yeah, we kept in touch, and we figured more or less that yeah, we really want to spend the rest of our lives. So we decided to get married in, I think it was during summer. It was COVID, and we could not have a proper engagement, so we just planned a wedding. I remember talking to Rand. I was saying to Rand, I was talking to him and telling him about this young man in Jamaica that had his wedding without a proposal. So we decided, okay, let's just plan a wedding, because there's nothing else that we can do. I can't travel to the UK because I don't have a visa, and we can't have the wedding over here. So there were loads of boxes that needed to take. So we decided, okay, let's just plan the wedding, do the wedding in Jamaica. And yeah, we really had a wonderful wedding. 2 days before the wedding, though, Brian made the proposal, which was quite lovely and cute. I really enjoyed it. On the beach. It was quite romantic. And yeah, we ended up marrying on October the 4th, and it was really a lovely, lovely wedding, as you guys have already seen, and that's why you guys are returning. So yeah, we are now together for over 3 months.
3 months. So Samoy came to the UK in early December. We managed to sort things out before the end of the year, and she was here before Christmas, which was lovely, and before the end of the year. And we got to see in the new year together, which is really great. Yeah, so things worked out. Things worked out in a really timely way,
Before the lockdown.
Yeah. I was diligent to get this visa stuff done, and just itching to just get it all boxed off quickly. So, even as I was on the plane traveling back to the UK, I finished the application to get it done. And, then I had a couple of friends, review it, and spoke to a couple of solicitors. Speak to some professionals definitely. I'd really people that know what they're doing. I'd really advise that. But it is something you can do for yourself by yourself. Yeah. So, cut a long story short, that's pretty much where we are
At this point.
And of course the journey will continue and the story will continue to unfold. So what we want to do is actually invite you guys, our subscribers, and those who have viewed the video, to keep with the journey. The story will proceed, and will continue. So you can do that by commenting below or getting in touch with us personally, sharing any comments or questions that you want us to answer
or talk about.
Yeah, and we'll make another video dealing with those questions. So whatever it may be, marriage advice, yeah, you name it, we'll give it a try.
Yeah, and don't forget guys to like, comment, and subscribe. Anyways guys, take care and have a wonderful day.